So we gonna finish and conclude, this interview. So um, let me ask you, just if they're, let's just say they don't decide to exercise the rematch, but so let me ask you this: if there isn't a rematch, what do you think is next for Earl Spence? What do you think he should do, and then what do you think Terrence Crawford should do?
Hold on one second. So, so you said say that and repeat the question again. I'm sorry. Joe, Joe, Nicole, close the door. Close the door. Joe, Joe, what's wrong, man?
Oh, we good. We good. Nah, we
Um,
good.
so what you was asking me?
Nah, so let me ask you something. So just in case we don't get the rematch, in all likelihood, probably will happen. But just in case we don't get the rematch, what direction do you think Terrence Crawford should go via Errol Spence? So basically, what I'm saying is, if a
Straight
rematch
at
doesn't happen,
straight at Jamel Charlo first, like he said, which is what he's gonna do. Straight at Jamel Charlo, then at to cap it off with Cornello. That's what I
who
think.
who Bud?
Terrence Crawford, yeah, Cornello,
Well, he already
60,
said he
160.
already he already said that he not going up to 168. So I think that's
No,
highly
no,
unlikely.
I said 160.
Do you
160.
think? I think that would be pretty dangerous for Terrence Crawford. That might be too much for him to handle because I don't see. And then I
Canelo,
don't see.
Canelo got power, but I think Canelo is at the end of his career. So I don't think that he'll. I think that him and Terrence Crawford will be a good fight. I think that Terrence Crawford will beat Canelo.
If they fought at
That's what I
160,
predict. Yes. And honestly speaking, they could put a clause in there where Canelo don't be over a certain amount of weight and let Terrence come in at the weight that he want to come in under the weight. You understand
well,
what I'm
that would
saying?
be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. But then Canelo is very
I think I
shrewd in
think I think I
negotiations.
think if it's between 160 and 154, Terrence Crawford beats Canelo.
Do you think Canelo will be?
Canelo at the tail end of his career anyway. Probably ain't gonna happen. But I think that I, I'm telling you that's what I think. I was telling Terrence mom other day, yesterday. That's what I like to see. I think it could be Canelo at a certain weight.
I don't see Canelo like dropping down that much because Canelo would say, well, he's the bigger attraction. And Canelo would try to basically control everything from weight to rehydration. And I just think that would be far too much on Terrence Crawford. That would be asking a lot of him to go up to 168. But I think
I
even
didn't say one.
160.
I didn't say 168. I ain't say 168.
So
I
you
said
saying, so
160.
let me ask you this. I would be interested if Canelo said, you know what, I'll fight you at 158 on the dot. And if Canelo said, I'll put a rehydration clause to where I can't rehydrate no more than 5 pounds, then I would be like, okay, well then
But see, the
I
thing
would be
about
interested.
rehydration, the thing about what rehydration does is what people don't realize. Rehydration could be at a disadvantage for you because it makes you slower when you gain weight after the fight over rapid intake, fluid intake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could be a disadvantage because
Okay.
you can't move
So
around with all of that weight that you're accustomed to moving around with.
yeah, that's very interesting. I think the Canelo
And
fans
then
gonna
and
come
then
after
another
you.
thing, if the weight is set at 158, Terrence could come in. You remember Floyd always did it. Floyd never weighed in at 154. He'd weigh in at 150. So that's
I'll
what I'm
put it
trying
to
to
you.
explain to you.
I'll put it to you this way. I think if Terrence Crawford had moved up to 154, let's just say, at the time Canelo was fighting at junior, junior, junior middleweight, yeah, I probably would pick Terrence Crawford, but I just
Well, what
still
is
think
what is
one.
this is not for no marbles though. This is just for the money. At this point now, Terrence done accomplished everything that he could accomplish. So now you just it's super fights now. That's a super fight. That's something that they can get together. It's no sanctioning fees involved. They could get together and they could set the weight. They could do it at whatever the terms are, whatever's comfortable on both sides, and the public buy it. A network buy it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's something that a lot of the rules with the title organizations is out the way. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that they could put together. But I see Terrence going at Jermell now because Jermell puts Spence on a pedestal. It's the reason why he puts Spence on a pedestal. He could be Spence be dogging him in sparring, or he could think that Spence is better than him. I don't know, but it's a
Okay,
reason
so
why Jamel Charlo be putting Spence on a pedestal, and everybody chose Spence, and Terrence just dogged him. Just keeping it real, he
well,
dogged him.
wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. That's not all the way accurate. I'll tell you why. Just hear me out. Because when I did my research as a guy that's in this business, well, as a guy that covered boxing, and I was just doing my research, to be honest with you, most people inside of boxing, like trainers and a lot of boxers, most of them was going with Terrence Crawford. But you had a lot of these delusional fans that was thinking that Errol Spence had all the advantage. And I tried to tell people, I was saying the smart money was on Terrence Crawford. That's why Terrence Crawford was the favorite. That's why Las
Yeah.
Vegas. That's why Las Vegas went with Terrence Crawford because they saw what a lot of other people saw. So let me ask you this: do you think that Errol Spence is a bit of a hype job, or he was like a manufactured champion based off what type of styles they put in the ring with him to make him look like maybe he was better than what we thought he was? Because based off what I saw last night, he looked Terrence Crawford basically made him look overrated. Now I know it's a lot of his fanboys, even some of them that I know like mad and their feelings is hurt because they saw that one-sided ass whooping. But I just wanted to get your opinion, trying to, talking a little bit greasy, but you talk greasy with me, you might slip and fall and not be able to get back up. But I just wanted to ask you, do you think Errol Spence was a bit of a hype job or just right or just he just ran into a dude that was just levels above him? So what's your take on that?
I mean, I really don't know. Um, I never really watched his career like that. I watched it, but I never really watched how he was developed. The fights that he has taken in his the early stages of his career. Matchmaking is key though. when you turning pro and you're developing a fighter, the matchmaking is key. So I don't know. Um, I would have to go back and look at his resume and look at all the fights that he's taken. But I just think that Terrence is just that much better. I think that Terrence started off at a young age. He don't have a lot of the fights, to reflect that as an amateur. But he has some international fights because he was on the Pan Am team. So it's really your development and as you develop as an amateur, and then when you turn pro, uh, the fights that you take to grow to become the world champion. So Errol Spence may not have gotten the experience that Terrence got or whatever. I don't know. I think Terrence just a better fighter too, as well. I mean, you got to figure he's a switch hitter. He's a switch hitter with power in both hands. Every switch hitter don't have power in both hands, and a tremendous ring IQ. He got a high ring IQ, and you got to think about
Right.
Terrence Crawford too. He helped everybody out. Helped Devin out. Helped Shakur out. Like he always willing to spar and work, get work. So I never really heard of Errol like that, being that type of uh, fighter. You know what I'm saying? To spar with different people. Terrence spar with everybody.
That's true.
So I mean that. So
Lightweights,
it's certain.
cruiserweights.
So it's certain. Yeah, it's certain thing, and he always helping. He helped Devin Haney get ready for his fight. He sparred with Shakur all the time. Um, shit. One time we was in New York at a Lomo fight, and I think Shakur was fighting on the undercard. Terrence wasn't even fighting on this card, and Terrence ended up wanting to spar with Hutchinson, Richard Hutchinson or whatever is that his name? The
Yeah,
little kid.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they was talking. They
Richardson.
was talking greasy, talking shit to each other. And it's like, well, I brought my gear. You got your gear? Yeah, let's go spar. They went to go spar. He wasn't even getting ready for a fight. So I think I never really seen or heard of. I mean, I ain't never been around Arrow, so I wouldn't know that. But like, I think those things are key. That is what make you. It expands your game. It expands your reach. Of knowledge.
Yeah,
consistency. Repetition. You know, you got to get that in.
okay,
You
so
know,
I got a couple of last questions for you, and then okay, so let me ask you this: after this performance, Terrence Crawford made history. Terrence Crawford became the first um, two division, two weight class undisputed champion, not two division, two weight class undisputed champion. Where do you rank Terrence Crawford in history? And let's just say he goes up to 154 and he beats Jamel Charlo, pending if he, doesn't take a fight and lose his titles. Where do you rank Terrence Crawford on the all-time great list? I'm talking about truly with the
I mean,
all-time greats. If he can become a three-time undisputed champion at three different weight classes, does that make him
man,
in the GOAT discussion?
man, he's a goat. He a goat, bro. He a goat right now. He a goat right now. You got to just give it to him. He a goat right now. What's that? What did he capture? That's 10 titles, 9 titles.
Well, if you add the Ream Magazine championship, that's considered five. So, you know, so I guess
He
you
got
would
so
say
so he
that's
got
sort of
so,
like, so that would
so he
be
got
like 10
10 titles.
belts.
He got two
Yeah.
rings because he got a ring at 142. So that's GOAT. Man, he's a GOAT, bro. You got to just give it to him, man. You got to give credit where credit is due. You can't make no excuses. Man, Arrow didn't make no excuses, so nobody else should. Arrow didn't make
Well,
no excuses. He said his timing was off, all of that shit. He said Crawford was the better man. So I mean,
Yeah.
like that's what I really want to hear, man. I really want to hear Fanon. I really want to hear Boxing Ego. I really want to hear money making Errol Spence Brown Jr. I want to hear from him. I want to hear all these motherfuckers, man. What's the little short black dude, black white dude, Fred? Yeah, I want to hear all you
Yeah.
motherfuckers, man. I
Yeah.
want to hear you motherfuckers. Give credit where
Barber
credit
bitch
is due.
conversation.
Yeah, barbershop conversation. I want you just to keep it real as a man though, and give credit where credit is due. Stop hating on that brother. That's why he don't want to do interviews with y'all, cause y'all be
Yeah,
hating on him. Y'all been teaming
yeah,
up against him. Y'all been pushing all that false propaganda, having people believe that he ain't fought nobody. If you ain't never got in the ring, you can't even speak like that. Is the way I feel. For a motherfucker to sit up there and say that a man that get in there and risk his life, I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker call you a tomato can. If you getting in the ring risking your life, if that person ain't never got in the ring, they ain't got no right to say that. I don't never disrespect boxing ever.
all right. Hey, Justin, one last question because um what's your take on this whole debacle that happened with the Charlos allegedly fighting each other and then the situation with Caleb playing and basically, as Cat Williams would say, the whole display of niggaism, basically happening at, a high profile boxing match after Terrence Crawford asked the black community as a whole to behave. So what's your whole take on that?
So lack of class on Caleb Plant,
Hey Jay,
initiating
hold on,
that.
hold on, hold on, hold on, Jay. Before you go, shout out to the super chat. We got a $5 donation. Justin, my man, so I'm gonna split it with him. I'm gonna send him the 250. So way to go, brother. But go ahead.
It's a lack of thank you by the way, but it's a lack of class on Caleb Plant, and I really have a lot of respect for Caleb Plant. You know that wasn't the time nor place, man. You know you handle all the business in the ring. I mean, you know, what if you'd have broke your hand or something? What if Jamel would have got it? Jamal would have got his jaw broke. I mean, y'all got beef selling in the ring, man. Y'all both got Al. Al could put that together easily. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, I just felt like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence displayed the best. They were the best example of how to be professional in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? They were professionals throughout the whole promotions. So y'all got to take notes, man. You know what I'm saying? They the best. They set the bar. Let all the fighters know, man. It's about handling business. It ain't about all that other stuff. So I think that was classless, and that wasn't cool. So, and I stand on that
All right.
because
Hey, well,
you ain't
Justin.
gonna punch me, and I ain't gonna punch back.
We discussed that. We'll be cool with that, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what
But
it
but
is with that,
but I
man.
mean,
But
like I said, I respect Caleb Planner, I respect Jamal Charlo, I respect everybody in boxing. I just think them little brothers need to handle they shouldn't have handled that right there. That wasn't the time or place. You handle that shit if you want to get down, call each other and y'all meet up and y'all go spar or something. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. However you handle it as men. You should be able to talk about it. Period point blank. That's how you really should handle it as men. You see Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence got together and talked, got a chance to get to know each other, how they operated as fathers, how they live their lives, to whereas it trickled down to them having respect for each other, for their fight. So that's what men do. Men have misunderstandings, but we can get together and talk. We ain't gotta resort to, getting down, fighting, you know. It's all about respect. But yeah, that's what I feel
uh,
though.
hey, Justin, let me ask you something, man, because I didn't got a lot of. good feedback about you. Do you plan on like doing something on your own? I know you do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Do you plan on being more active, like, you know what I'm saying, doing more interviews and just, you know, putting your name out there in circulation? Because I think you could help a lot of people because you know this, you know the boxing game inside and out. You didn't fed me a little knowledge. I'm gonna tell y'all before we end this interview. If you wonder why my channel like improved the way it did to where it got less ghetto and more professional, because of him. And one thing about him, when he was telling me what I should do to make the channel better, you know, I didn't get mad and I didn't say how dare you and all that kind of stuff. You know, I listened. So I mean, I'm just saying, man. He, you know,
Well,
it paid off.
I gotta work on my tone, man. My tone is a little. I'm a little, I'm a little gritty. I'm a little, call it the way I see it, but I don't mean no disrespect to nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? I just be trying to give my advice in areas that I can help a person, and I'm open as well. I'm receptive as well. But yeah, one thing I explain to you is not to take sides. If you're gonna do this, be the best. And what you've been doing, you ain't you because I think you at first, what side was you on at first?
I never, you know what it was? I never really picked a side, but what made me start leaning towards Team Crawford, it was a lot of Errol Spence fun boys, and you know, like
You
pissing me
didn't like
off,
that.
and then yeah, and
Right.
trying to
Yeah,
question
because
my blackness.
you would call me, you did call me a couple times and you didn't like how they should do certain things. And then you did want interviews with Crawford. And I was like, man, Crawford not gonna interview with a lot of those dudes, man, because they be saying negative things about him. And I was like, the way you in a business, you trying to make money off of this, and you trying to get your, raise your popularity. So you want to do great interviews. You don't want to put a person up there and be intrusive, and then put them on the spot and make them feel bad. You want to pull the best out of them in an interview. I watch how Sway does it. Sway interviews all types of talent in the best way, and he brings the best out of them to where they want to come back and interview with him again. And that's what it's all about. You know, uh, a lot of the YouTubers, man, like I said, they pick sides. So then when they try to call Julie or somebody to set an interview up, Julie ain't fucking with him because Terrence already done told her, or Shakur done already told him, I don't want to do no interview with them. So I mean, that's just how it is, man.
Yeah, I'm in good standing. I'm in good standing with Shakur, and I'm in pretty good standing with Team Crawford. So I mean, for the most part, I'm
Yeah, I
in
mean,
good standing with it.
just because you always a gentleman when you trying to conduct yourself. I recognize you always respectful, and so I don't mind like you know telling somebody
Wait a minute.
help
Oh,
them out.
hold on, Justin. I almost forgot. I I got to get your opinion on this before you go because I meant
No,
to hear your
hold
honest
that,
assessment.
hold that. But let me say this: I'm upset because PBC didn't have you on, to do interviews and to have your show on to help televise, this event. I'm upset that they didn't credential you. You paid money in advance to get there, flights, hotel. That's not fair. And it wasn't fair either because I didn't see a lot of other people there either. But I see how hard you work, and they didn't have you there. You always spending money, your own money. And that's what a lot of these promotional companies got to understand. They have to give these guys that really is true to this ample amount of time, of getting cleared for credentials so that they could set up their room reservations, their hotel flights. I mean, that stuff costs money, and that's not fair to them. So we need to really work on that. Top ranked side, Eddie Hearn's side, the zone, whoever he's with, and PBC. They need to work on that because you guys put in a lot. A lot of you guys put in a lot of work, and a lot of you guys bring out some good content. So go ahead and say what you got to say.
All right, so one last question, then I'm gonna let you go because I had to ask you about this. It appears that Carissa Shields is at it again with her obsession with wanting to fight a man. So basically, I guess yesterday she tweeted,
Give her my number.
"I ain't got it. I ain't got her number." No, she said that she wants
She's
to
so
fight Keith Thurman at 154. She
hey, she
says she
look
can
cute.
outbox him.
Hey, she look
She
cute.
says she could. She
She
says she
looking
want to
very
fight
cute.
Keith Thurman at 154, and she say that she believes that she could beat Keith Thurman. She says she can outbox him.
Man,
Hey, okay,
give
I
her
just
my
want to
number.
get your opinion on this. I don't want it to look
Give,
like I'm picking on her, and I don't want to be attacked, and I don't want to. I don't want people coming for me. But I'm just asking your opinion. She said that
give,
she tweeted that she could beat Keith Thurman at 154. That she what's your take on that?
she's looking good these days. She's a nice looking young lady. She got a nice
Hey, be
smile.
careful. I don't want to get me. I don't want to
So
get me
so
too, dog.
so let's just keep it at that. I don't have no comment.
All right, all
I
right.
have no comment. I have no comment.
Okay, we'll leave it alone because, like I said, I don't want to get me too or nothing like that. I don't want people thinking I'm a bully and I because I don't want to
No,
just go that route. But
you just
I'm a,
asked me a question. You didn't say anything. You just asked me a question, and I said she a nice looking young lady, and
okay,
she
yeah.
needs some help. She needs some help in boxing. I help her. I help her best way I can. But for her to fight Keith Thurman, come on now. We ain't here to disrespect boxing. That's not fair. That's not fair. Keith Thurman is all. That's not fair. So she shouldn't say that. She should fight. It's a whole lot of women in her division and on her side that she could fight that should be willing to take her challenges. She should start calling out some of those women down there in her division or in other divisions and put together some super fights. Call out some more other champions. There's some other champions in other divisions of women boxing and call them out. Why would you call a man out? That's not fair. You trying to emasculate Keith Thurman? That's
I
not
I
right. Keith,
I don't.
Keith Thurman done a lot for boxing, man, and he's a two-time welterweight champ, unified. So don't disrespect Keith Thurman like that, Carissa. Come on now.
All right, all right, Justin. I appreciate you coming on here, man. You welcome anytime, man.
All right, man. Have a nice one.
All right, thanks. Thanks.